Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Ossining special meeting and work session for October 5th, 2021. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
Councilmember Meyer,
Present.
Councilmember Shaw,
Present.
Councilmember Wiltshire,
Present.
and Supervisor Levenberg.
Here I am. Okay, so we're going to start off with some announcements, and then we will go into our special meeting. I hope everyone had a great day yesterday, Monday, October 4th, celebrating Richard Crisfield Day in the town of Ossining. Richard was an active member of the Ossining Volunteer Fire Department's Independent Hose Company number 6 for 75, that's right, 75 years. He's only 76 years old. Pretty cool. We are so incredibly grateful for his service to the village and town. And of course, he served in many roles over those years, including captain twice, fire commissioner, and as fire chief at Sing Sing Prison for a few years as well. We salute you. Thank you, Mr. Crisfield. Tonight, Galata House, who supported both restaurants, individuals, and families throughout the pandemic and has continued to do so by securing meals to give away to the tune of over 100,000 throughout Westchester, is hosting a wonderful community event, Family Music Night, with, you guessed it, free food. It started this evening at 5:30 at Lewis Angle Waterfront Park, but it's still happening with super popular local bands to entertain you. And I know Councilwoman Feldman and I both stopped down there, maybe even Councilwoman Shaw, I'm not sure. But Base Camp is down there playing now, and then they will be followed up by the John Bates Band. Base Camp has Kendall Buchanan. They were just featured in the Gazette this past week, and they were definitely one of our most popular summer concerts this past summer. John Bates played for us at the last year's summer concerts online, and we're so grateful to them for that. And they're both really great bands, and they're starting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I know that donations are welcome, of course. I don't blame you if you decide you want to drop out of our town board Zoom and catch the performances there. Be sure to wear your dancing shoes. You can always watch us after the fact on YouTube. No dancing shoes required for that one. We know the pandemic continues to be a financial burden for so many in our community, and other assistance besides that free food is available for those who lost work or income as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, including for landlords, renters, and those who were excluded from other relief programs like unemployment and federal benefits. All you need to do to start the process of accessing these funds, if you believe you qualify, is dial 211. It is as simple as that. Please spread the word. We want to make sure these funds reach those who need it most. We have a pop-up vaccine center happening in the Ossining High School gymnasium tomorrow from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. You can pre-register at westchestergov.com/health, or walk-ins are welcome. Councilman Wiltshire, we can hear you. Just so you know, we can hear you, Councilman Wiltshire.
Oh.
Okay, just so you know. Okay. All right. We have a pop-up vaccine center happening in the, I just said that, sorry. COVID booster shots are available for recipients of the Pfizer vaccine who completed their initial series at least 6 months ago and are either 65 years or older, 18 years and older with an underlying medical condition, or 18 years and older who work or live in high-risk settings like hospitals or nursing homes. If you are eligible, please get your booster now, as it will help protect you further from getting COVID-19 and therefore protect others as well. Also, remember, now is the time to get your flu shot. Flu shots are available at most local pharmacies and healthcare providers. The town will be providing flu shots to its employees free of charge. We can all do our part to keep our workplaces and communities safe from the flu and COVID-19. Also, this just in, The last walking tour of 2021 of historic Sparta neighborhood at the south end of Ossining will take place on Sunday, October 10th. The tour will begin at Jug Tavern, Rockledge Avenue and Revolutionary Road behind the CVS at 1 p.m. with an introduction to the history of the area. Participants will then walk about 6 blocks through the neighborhood, learning about the historic homes in the landmark district. The tour will end at around 3 p.m. Dr. Alan Stahl, a neighborhood resident who teaches in the History Department of Princeton and has served as chair of the Village of Ossining Historic Preservation Commission, will lead the tour. The tour is free, but participation is limited to 20 people. For a reservation or further information, go to Jug Tavern's website, which is www.jugtavern.org. We are continuing to look for feedback on the town's new comprehensive plan entitled Sustainable Ossining. The comprehensive plan is organized into specific themes with draft goals, objectives, and strategies. We are interested in understanding you, our public's planning priorities. Please visit the project website at sustainableossining.com to complete a survey that shares themes, goals, and draft objectives. Take a moment to read each objective, then prioritize those that you would like to see the town focus on in the near term. We look forward to sharing the full draft of the plan with the public in the near future. And last but certainly not least, please join us this Saturday, October 9th at 9 a.m. as we celebrate the memory of the late Town Councilman Honorable Jeffrey Harder at Ryder Park, where we will be dedicating the middle field in his honor. Ryder Park is on Morningside Drive in Ossining. Please follow the signs to the middle ball field to join us. During his over 20 years of service to the town, Councilman Harder was a dedicated supporter of all things recreation. As liaison to the Recreation Advisory Board, he kept a careful watch on town parks, playing fields, ball courts, and other facilities. But most importantly, Jeff loved cheering for Ossining youth sports, especially when his grandchildren were playing on the field. Please join us as we remember Jeff. Do my board colleagues have anything to add? Hearing and seeing no heads shaking in the up and down direction, I think we are going to move into our board resolutions. And I'm going to ask Victoria Caffarelli to take it away.
Okay, Resolution A, amendment to Urban County Cooperation Agreement. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining authorizes the supervisor to sign an amendment to the Urban County Cooperation Agreement between Westchester County and the Town of Ossining.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So the town is part of the Urban County Consortium, which allows us to receive community development block grant funding through the federal government. Per our request by the county, we need to sign an amendment to our original contract with minor changes to the language to continue to be able to receive these funds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? We want those funds, so yes, please.
Okay, Resolution B, authorizing town justices and town supervisor to submit a grant application to the New York State Office of Court Administration. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby authorizes the town justices and town supervisor to submit a 2022 Justice Court Assistance Program application to the New York State Office of Court Administration with a request not to exceed $30,000.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
So our Justice Court is applying for grant funding under the Justice Court Assistance Program, and these funds are often used for technology and capital improvements at our courts. I do believe that this year is going to be making it easier for people to leave payments in some sort of a Dropbox and have some kind of a system to make it easier for people to pay for any violations. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? With that, could I have a motion to adjourn to work session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? All right, fantastic. Okay, so next up, we're moving into our work session agenda. And first on the agenda is none other than our Chief of Police, Kevin Sylvester. Chief, welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I was uncomfortable with those introductions. I'm no special than anybody else here. Lots going on in the police department this quarter since we've met last. I don't know where our deadline is from quarter to quarter, but I go meeting to meeting. So since the last time I've presented for this group. First, I want to just start with some recognition for a member of service that we lost last week. Last week, we said goodbye to police officer Bobby Wood, who was 99 years old and retired long before anybody worked here and before I believe most of our staff was alive. But Bobby was 99 years old and stayed in the community. He was when I came on as a police officer, we knew him as a cab driver. He actually drove a cab for his own private company, lived down on Hunter Street, and was a real asset to our department and sharing all of his experiences and his stories. So sad to see him go, but 99 years, quite a run. Really a unique individual with a great perspective on things and a lot of fun to talk to. So sadly, we'll miss him. In not quite as sad goodbyes, we've said goodbye to a few employees with the department, not passing on, but leaving the department. Since we've last met, we've said goodbye to CSW Franklin Jackson, Animal Control Officer Mauro Santucci, and Police Officer Marvis Renals, who all retired over the last couple of months. So sorry to see them go, glad to see them enjoying other opportunities and all that comes with retirement. So Franklin, I think I've seen more since he retired than when he was here. Loves to pop in and he's checking on us from time to time. The others I know are off enjoying themselves and getting their distance from the job. So sorry to see them go, but we'll talk in a few minutes about the openings that those create. In terms of crime and law enforcement, you may have seen in the newspaper a guilty plea in place from last year. I had reported on a hate crime that occurred in the Avalon complex on North Allen Avenue, where an individual had stabbed a young woman in the head several times. He's pled guilty, and I believe he's due to be sentenced next month. But I do want to acknowledge not only the good work of the detectives there, Chavez and Hedges Lianos, the patrol officers that responded on that, but I think more importantly than that, we oftentimes we take this moment and we celebrate good work. We forget the victims that remain after this. That young woman's got to live with the physical and emotional scars for the rest of her life. And I think as a community, what differentiates Ossining from most is that, we try to stay supportive of those folks long after. So certainly our thoughts are with that young woman and her family who will continue to deal with that. In terms of outreach events, things we did this since last meeting, we did one Movies in the Park. It's been really hard. I will tell you that my staff that do all the outreach are absolutely itching to get something done. Like the supervisor and I have had a lot of conversations about the challenges to organizing things where we're putting people together. Our goal is to bring people together. Unfortunately, with COVID, that's not always a possibility. So a couple of small things we did. We did one Movies in the Park, which is a cool opportunity to get people outside and spread out as best as we can. We did a bike day towards the end of summer, but we closed down Spring Street for a day and we had quite a few people that came out, and it's something that turned out to be a great program. A couple of hiccups with traffic, but a first for our community and something that we'd really, really love to bring back and bring around the community to different neighborhoods where we could close roadways and create outdoor recreation space and good opportunities for community groups to interact with our neighbors and try and connect people with services. So bike day on Spring Street, lots of fun. As with all of our programs, we start slow and increase speed with proficiency. It went okay, but we've got big plans to expand on that and make that something that we can sort of make accessible to more people and bring people together. Hopefully with COVID slowing down, we'll have an opportunity to do more. Our officers also ran in the law enforcement torch run every year in the springtime, or towards this year it was in the summer. Usually it's in the springtime. Our officers carried the torch for the New York Special Olympics. Passes through Ossining on Route 9. So that's something that our officers engage in every year. We did. In terms of awards and recognition, big one for this year, Detective Jeff Chavez was awarded the 40 Under 40 award from the International Association of Chiefs of Police. In general, we think he's a tremendous human being and a great asset to the community, but specifically what differentiates him from other police officers in the area and really across the globe is that he's the first and I have challenged police departments across the country for this. He is, I believe, the only platform in the entire country from a police department working in a completely separate language, second language. So I have seen police departments will sometimes translate their messages, but the Ossining Police Department is the only one that actually runs two separate communications plans in separate languages with messages tailored to reach different groups that are oftentimes not as deeply engaged as others. So particularly for Ossining, we have a large immigrant community, and he's done a lot of work towards educating people on culture and customs and how to interact with law enforcement. He's done videos about traffic stops. That was his claim to fame for the 40 Under 40. He is among awardees from across the United States, Canada, Korea, Australia, and the UAE, including Ajman, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, as well as India. So it truly is an international award. I judged a section of the group. I'm obviously not allowed to judge my own guy because I give him 100 either way. But I can tell you that there were hundreds of applicants for this award that he was selected to a narrow group for. So it's really is, you know, it's a plaque that goes on the wall, but underneath it, what it really is a recognition of our small community doing things that are remarkable on a larger scale, right? We're setting the example for other people. And that's really what Jeff is. He's somebody who's setting the tone for what law enforcement is going to be in the future. My accomplishments, I was elected to first vice president of New York State Association of Chiefs of Police over the summer. So that's my final year on the board before I take over as president next July. In hiring, we hired 2 new crossing guards, or 1, and we'll announce another one tomorrow. I guess I spoiled the surprise. 2 new crossing guards, as crossing guards have been unable to join us, but super important to us that students are able to get to school safely. With all of our retirements, we have 6 openings for police officers, and good news, the grades from the most recent civil service exam for police officer were released last week. So we are frantically trying to hire for the January class, as is all of the rest of Westchester County. These grades were delayed a year because of COVID, so or the test was delayed a year rather. So it's been a long time. It's been 5 years where we usually wait for a new list. So we're really excited to take a look at who some of the people that exist on that list are and fill some of our many openings. So to have 6 openings right now with only a staff of 60 is significant for us. And we really do need new police officers. So looking forward to taking this opportunity. If you'd seen our recruiting video that we made, Sergeant Donahue put together with some police officers from around the county. You know, the big focus across Westchester County this year, diversity, trying to find candidates for this job that reflect the makeup of the communities that we serve. So looking forward for an opportunity to further that conversation as we go through the hiring process. In terms of things that are going on now and what we look to the future for, quality of life issues are really our major focus for the fall and going into the winter. Big things like protecting our parks, ensuring there's no damage to our parks. Now in Gerlach Park, we've had some small issues there. There have been some complaints of people drinking or smoking in our parks, albeit either Engel Park or Gerlach Park or some of the ones in the village. So the big encouragement for police officers right now is that we're going to be addressing all of those things head on, getting out of the car, engaging with more people, being more present in the community. Some parking issues and lots of traffic, particularly as we get into the school year now. You know, we try to give parents the benefit of the doubt for a couple of weeks, let them acclimate to the school year. Everybody should have figured out their way to school now and traffic that's going on. At this point, if people can't cooperate with traffic laws, it's time to start issuing some tickets. So looking to get some people in order there to make sure that everybody has the safe opportunity to get to school and work. And in terms of outreach, like I said before, my staff is itching to do something. They are looking forward to fun. I don't know what we're doing yet. They have a million plans for Halloween and the holiday season. I'm trying to keep them in line with all the COVID protocols, but looking forward to a creative way to get people together yet distanced, if that makes sense. That's the plan. As soon as we know exactly what that is, we'll share with everybody. But you know, looking forward to a time when we can start doing more. In the meantime, we will find a way to make it work. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. All I would say about Halloween is outside better.
Yeah, well, we don't have anywhere to put people inside, so it's always an outside thing.
Community center, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ordinarily we do.
The trunk or treat is.
Ordinarily, we do the trunk or treat thing on Main Street, and I know some communities are doing that. I can't, in good faith, create an event that's going to bring together that many people. We usually have several hundred people come to that, and then hand things out, which is the real kicker to Halloween, is that we're actually handing things out. It's not just hanging out with people, but distributing things. So, you know, we're looking. They're texting me about it right now as I'm looking down. I don't know if they're watching this meeting. So, you know, I'm going to be looking for ways to help guide them towards something that we can keep safe with. But you know, I think everybody needs a little fun. So we'll find a way.
Definitely. Fantastic. Well, thank you for the update. I'll just ask my board colleagues if anybody has any questions for the chief. And we appreciate all that you're doing. And, you know, every day before I open it to questions, and we're very excited about Officer Chavez, and that's great. Detective. Sorry.
He's got a brother who's an officer. So in this particular case, it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we had Detective Chavez does an amazing job. I've seen him at several Padres Hispanos events and all over town with chess and everything else. So That's.
I forgot to
that-
mention those, Chess with Chavez, another event that we do. And strangely, it was like really well attended. I thought he was crazy when I said it. I mean, chess is nice and we've had officers that play in different parks and things like that. He had a remarkable turnout for Chess with Chavez.
Mhm.
So thank you for
It
reminding
didn't
me.
hurt that there was a concert right there too, at the same time.
Yeah, but he did them on other days. Absolutely. And I told him that. I was like, look, find places where you have a ready-made crowd. But then he started doing them on other days. And he's actually had people reaching out and asking when we're going to do more. So it's a really great thing because it sits people across from one another and it gives great opportunity for conversation. And we had kids and adults and I'm pleasantly surprised by it.
Nice. And I'm happy to hear about the quality of life issues. I think that'll go a long way for us. And thank you for all that you've been doing. I know it's been a challenge and you've been stepping up. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Ben, all right. Thank you so much. And have a great night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Okay, so next up we have Lynn Muller, our Senior Nutrition Program Site Manager, here with a departmental report. Lynn, turning it over to you.
Okay, hi, everybody. Well, I'm happy to report we fully opened on Tuesday, September 7th. We're back to full activities with seniors coming in and eating lunch, fully vaccinated and safely distancing and wearing masks, although that can be a little difficult sometimes. We remind them, but we're working on it. We have bingo and dance and chair yoga and shopping all fully back. We have a new arts and crafts class, which is going over great. Everybody that's participating is really enjoying it very much. I'm glad we started it. They're doing a lot of fun things and it's been going great. We had a welcome back cookout on the 28th. Unfortunately, it rained that day, but it was the only day the whole week that it rained. But our caterer stepped up. He came and cooked out in the rain anyway, and the seniors really enjoyed it, hamburgers and hot dogs and all that. So it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we would have liked to have been sitting outside, and we'll plan something again, maybe in the spring, and try and make it a bigger deal. But slowly but surely, we're getting more and more seniors back in. We had a flu clinic last week from the prescription center, came down and did a flu clinic, and we had quite a few seniors get their flu shots. And some other people even just came in that heard about it, children of seniors and they had their flu shots. So that went over well, and everything so far has been going great. We've been really lucky. Everybody's been healthy and happy, and so happy to get back. Slowly, we're getting more and more seniors every day, and looking forward to keep going full steam ahead. Hopefully, that's about what we've been doing, waiting for our new kitchen.
Yeah, and that's coming up next. We're going to be talking
Yeah.
about that very soon. So, and how many people do you think you have right now coming in person?
We're averaging anywhere from 30 to 35, and before COVID we were 50. So we're not too far off. It's getting there. The word's starting to get out. One of the groups that meets on Tuesday that is the Golden Ager Club that meets on Tuesdays afternoons. Today was their official start. They've come in a little bit before this in the beginning of September, but today was their official start. So I think word of mouth really grows through that group also. And so today we had a little bit more, but I think as time goes by and they feel safer to come in, probably when they'll probably start getting their booster shots, and that might make even more people come in. But we have a
Yeah,
pretty good
I'm sure
pretty good
we could
crowd.
we could probably get a pop-up for boosters at some point. I'm guessing OVAC will also would do that. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that we
Well,
could
just
talk
hearing you say tonight, a lot of them have been asking where they can get booster shots. And
Yeah.
with you saying that at Ossining High School, they're
about.
going to have a booster or just the vaccine.
We think it's everything, right?
Okay,
Victoria?
good.
We tried to investigate before. 'cause
Yeah,
we
it seems
saw-
like, because it seems like at least right now, right, the only one that is approved is Pfizer. It's just another
Right.
third dose of the Pfizer vaccine. So it seems like it is going to happen at that event, but.
And you can just walk in or you can make an appointment.
Yeah.
so.
All right, so
Definitely
that's,
all the
that's
other
good, but if
locations.
some of them can't get there, maybe we could work on something, maybe even at the community center.
Yeah,
And, or at least during the day where we can drive some up in a group to get boosters
Absolutely.
if they're interested. So that, yeah, I would like to look into that because they have, some of them have asked about that, so.
okay, we can
Yeah.
definitely work on that. The
Okay.
other
I think they're
thing I
working
wanted
on
to ask
approving.
is how many homebound seniors do we still have?
We still are serving about, well, it's about 30 to 35 homebound and about 30 coming in. That's
Okay.
about average. Yeah, it's
And,
good.
and I'm sorry, Councilman Feldman, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, they're working on approving a booster for the other two vaccines. There's a conversation going on this week into next week, I think. So before we plan a trip, we might want to see, you can't tell somebody, you don't want a confusion on which one they got and tell them they're getting a booster and give them Pfizer when they got Moderna or
Exactly. Yeah.
whatever.
Trying to make them
So.
that clear when they do call and ask, and we say, you know, you have to make sure you get the same booster as your vaccine. So, yeah, we'll
Right.
have to double check.
Well,
that.
right. I mean, the interesting thing is I don't think Moderna started as early, so I don't even think, I'm not even sure that people are eligible for that 6 months
Okay.
yet. I'm not positive, but I have a feeling not.
I got Moderna in January.
In January, okay. Oh, okay, you did? That's interesting. I didn't remember that it was available that early. Okay. I'm wrong. So anyway, well, it'll, you know, we'll again, just be paying attention to that, so. Any questions for Lynn, and while we get ready to segue to talk a little bit more about the upgrades to the senior nutrition center kitchen?
Are they eating lunch there or are they bringing it home with them at this point?
No, we're eating there. They're eating, dining in now.
Okay, just distanced.
Yes.
Distance and everybody's vaccinated.
Yes, everybody's vaccinated. We try to limit how many they can have at a table. Trying to do 6. Sometimes they squeeze a couple in, but it's kind of hard to regulate that when they want to sit together, but we do the best we can.
Sure, they're excited to see each other again.
They're so happy to see each other. They really are. They've been cooped up for so long, and just to be able to sit and interact with each other and do things. Yeah, they're very excited about it. It's good. And you really can see a difference in their whole personality too. We could see it growing back to because some of them, when they first came in, they just were so depressed and kind of lethargic. And now they're starting to get more like how we used to know them and pepping them up. It's good. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Very great. Okay, so I think unless anybody has any other questions for Lynn, we are going to invite our special guest, John Fry, to talk to us. Last year, the town received $130,000 in grant funding to support the renovation of the senior nutrition program kitchen, as I mentioned. The clock is ticking on this grant funding, and we anticipate going out to bid for this project in the not too distant, as soon as we can get everything together, future. Tonight we have our architect on this project, John Fry, as I mentioned, principal at Nexus Creative Design, who is going to walk us through the proposed design for the renovation. I got a little taste of some discussion last night at the Rec Advisory Board meeting, and now we'll hear a little bit more from John specifically about this kitchen.
Thank you, Dana. Good evening, everyone. Victoria, I'm sharing the screen. Can everyone see? Terrific. So everyone's familiar
Yes.
with the existing kitchen. It's not been really updated for many, many, many years. Much of the equipment is outdated. Some of it's non-functional. It's marginally served the senior nutrition's program over the years. The primary intent in this renovation is to enhance its ability to serve the seniors nutrition program. While we are not proposing any significant modifications to the kitchen footprint, we're better organizing the equipment layout. We're taking advantage of the original pantry area, which is to the rear of the kitchen between the corridor adjacent to the elevator, and really incorporating that into a functional area of the kitchen, along with recovering a unfortunate corner behind the elevator in a more effective way. So the new kitchen plan also strives to take a compact kitchen footprint and make it feel larger during certain arrangements. And we're accomplishing that by opening up the existing window that separates the kitchen from the community room, so that the serving cart, which now is located always on the inside face of the wall, creates serving challenges both to staff and to the senior guests. That will be able to be rolled out into the community room, better serving staff and guests. And it will obviously lend to creating more space, more workable space within a compact kitchen footprint. There are minor reconfigurations of the existing equipment to better arrange it, make it more efficient. We've been mindful of capturing and reusing as much of the infrastructure as possible. Primarily noting the plumbing wall, that we've organized much of the reconfiguration and the additional sinks and other components like a grease interceptor to make the kitchen fully compliant with current health department requirements. So as the plan has developed, we've also been mindful of more effective, more efficient locations of storage elements so that they really promote the kitchen flow. Recognizing that the pantry has now become sort of a hybrid area that is going to include new freezer location, a beverage storage unit, and additional shelving that is probably more attuned to today's food service deliveries and storage. We're planning on all maintaining primarily stainless steel equipment. We're reusing several elements from the existing kitchen, again, being mindful of budget. Of course, we're introducing new vent hood, new lighting, new finishes, and storage elements for the delivery component to senior nutrition service. This image was prepared in a corresponding master planning project for the community center. Part of that master planning project is re-envisioning numerous existing spaces, including the community room. And in this view, looking back towards the kitchen, you can see how the opening is going to be realized, where this serving cart is now rolled out into the footprint of the kitchen. We're going to introduce brighter, happier, more cleanlier finishes. There are minor elements within the existing footprint, including various bulletin boards, et cetera, artwork that are all going to be re-envisioned and updated. So the notion for anyone using this room, it'll be an entirely new experience. The kitchen will function much more efficiently, much more effectively. It'll be a brighter, happier experience all the way around. And I would be remiss to following Lynn. We've worked closely with Lynn and her team. We've enjoyed that. We've been there at various times of service periods to see how the dynamic and the ebb and flow work. So we're looking forward to not only the kitchen improvements as a part of this grant program, but how those interface with a broader refresh and re-envisioning of the surrounding spaces.
I hope that it's not going to look that sparsely populated though when we have
No.
our programs there.
And we actually in full disclosure, we had this more populated in one image, but no one could see what we were talking about when we introduced
Oh,
the new
gotcha.
kitchen opening. So these people have been removed for the
It's like,
purposes
what
of
are they all doing? Like that one
last
guy
night
was just
and tonight.
standing there staring at the guy.
We'll make,
Sorry, okay. I've
we'll
been
live
looking at this
them
picture a lot.
dining experience the night and in the next image.
Okay, sounds good.
Questions?
Yeah,
Suggestions?
I have one. You hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm, how long is it, what's gonna happen while this remodeling is going on? And how long do you think it'll take?
Good question. So I think the staging of, there are several scenarios that we can explore in terms of staging, installation of kitchen equipment, and then addressing the finishing and the lighting. There may be, for example, over a quiet period, the ceiling, the lighting, and the hood, the exhaust hood could be implemented in a stage that the following week, the kitchen would continue to function as it does today. Then there may be the opportunity to address zones or walls of the kitchen incrementally. It's not clear whether that's going to be an effective scheduling or even cost effective to try to attempt installing wall areas incrementally, but certainly, I mean, we have to be sensitive and cognizant of how that's going to be implemented. There will be disruption. I think the summary is at some point there will be some disruption too.
I'm also guessing we could bring in or move out some of the, equipment into that community room for a period of time. And then we will have to figure out the heating element and, if that's something that has to happen. And again, in another conveyance that we rent or something like that as we phase in the construction.
Yep.
And we might have to actually, I'm guessing, seal off the kitchen at some point from the rest of the room so that there isn't any kind of contamination while they're doing the work.
Yep.
And this also, does this mean that the seniors will not have, dinners or lunch for a while?
I think that we will not need to do that. That's what I'm saying. I think we'll be able to find a different, alternatives where we can use the space. I mean, again, we have 30 to 35 people coming in. That's still plenty of room. And I don't think that the space is being maxed out at all, right now during COVID in terms of the way that they have programming going even the rest of the day when the senior program isn't there in the community room. So we should be able to work with the village on finding space to put, other equipment that we can continue to provide meals.
Okay.
And we could get some to-go meals or meals from outside sources for a few days if we have to, probably.
Lynn, are you still on? I can't see.
Yeah, yes, I'm here. I was just gonna say that we have had situations in the past where we've had to use a different room for dinings, and we've been able to utilize the art room upstairs. And we've actually moved our steam table. So worst comes to worst, I think we could work out some kind of plan with the village. Maybe we'll just for a week or two have to use upstairs, and we could bring our, heating elements. The problem would be refrigeration. We'd have to work out something with that, or even if we just had the caterer pack everything for us for a week or so and give it out. But we certainly, the last thing we want to do is shut down the dining room. So we're going to work every as hard as we can to keep it open and keep it functioning as a, ongoing.
Yeah, I will say alternatively we have, and we haven't booked anything yet, but we have in the past, when we were during the pandemic, we were looking for alternate spaces, identified a couple of alternatives if we needed to, that we could potentially contract out for a short period of time.
Somehow we have to keep it going.
Yeah. Other questions? That was a good one. Councilman Welcher. Are there other questions for John or for Lynn or for any of us? It's exciting that we're finally starting to see the plans come together, and I think we all very much appreciate John working closely with our senior nutrition staff and making sure
Very
that
much.
not only is it gonna look a whole heck of a lot nicer, feel a whole heck of a lot nicer for the staff, but also be more versatile and be more responsive to the needs of the program. So we're very excited about this. We're excited that we're getting it funded, half funded by these federal dollars that come through the CDBG grant, and just looking forward to moving forward to the next step, which would be getting the bid documents prepared and going out to bid.
Yeah, and I also just want to
yeah.
note, I don't think we mentioned this, that, you know, this is also not exactly just a nice to have where it's going to be just a nice kitchen after the fact. You know, over the years, the county has pointed out a number of things that could be improved with our kitchen. So it's getting closer to a need to have than a nice to have. So, you know, I think this is really going to improve. It's going to be a game changer for the department, but it's also something that's going to make sure that we're staying in compliant with the recommendations from the county, both from the health department and the Department of Senior Services to
That's a
keep-
good point, Victoria. I mean, it from the professional's point of view, there are so many, there's a sum total of aspects to the existing conditions that are at the threshold of being very problematic, if not critical.
And we appreciate your dog weighing in regularly when you.
I'm sorry. I was hoping that I was going to escape without the dogs barking in the background.
I was gonna add one thing. As everybody knows, it's a CDBG grant. It's funded half by the town and half by CDBG grants. It's $270,000. The deadline is we have to spend $135,000 of the $270,000 by February 28th. So we appreciate you guys moving fast on this, and we're gonna keep the project going.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for weighing in.
Madam Supervisor,
Yes.
I see Sandy is not panicking, and I guess we don't need to panic until we see her panic.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
seemed-
oh, Lynn isn't panicking? Yeah, Lynn
No.
isn't panicking. Yeah.
No, well, we can hold off until she panics.
Okay, well, definitely will. Yes, 100%. As soon as she panics, we'll start to panic. But I do think that talking about phasing, you know, how we're going to phase the project so that we can keep the program open for as long as possible is also part of what our next step should be. So thank you for bringing that
Yeah,
up.
it's an excellent point.
So that'll be on our list as we're preparing bid docs. Okay.
All righty.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much. This has been a great update night tonight. And Andy Teets has been overseeing the project for us. Is here. Andy, did you want to add anything else that we should be thinking about while we got
No,
you?
I think it's a little bit easier than the Dale Cemetery job, so should be pretty good.
It does
looking-
seem like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the big bottleneck, as we know, is going to be equipment with what's going on, and the sooner we can encumber that money, the sooner we can spend the $135,000 to secure the county money. So that's key.
This was, I guess,
But-
this was the first Urban County Consortium grant that we received, like in this wave after there weren't none of these funds were allocated for a number of years. And then we kind of got back on track in the last few years. So that's great. The second grant that we received was for our senior nutrition bus. And Andy just reminds me that as we know that there's a supply chain problem for everybody right now who's doing any kind of construction, that's also true with vehicles. And we were anticipating our bus was supposed to be ready for us in July. Then we heard it was going to be ready in December. And just today, we found out that it's now going to be March or April. I literally
Wow.
found that out at like 5:30 tonight. I know.
So the question is, if we have ordered it, does that count as spending the money or do we have to have received
Well,
it?
we did reach out to the county and I think the county said, the exact quote was, "It is what it is." So I just saw that as I was flying out the door,
That
from
doesn't help.
Anthony Zano, but I think I don't think that's gonna be a problem for that money. It's more of a problem for the seniors. So, you know, we're gonna have to figure out if we need to put something else in place in the meanwhile. So we'll discuss. Lynn, I mean, I'm just breaking the news to you right now, because I just found out.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
That's sad to hear. We were
Yeah.
really looking forward to that bus
yeah,
sooner
absolutely.
than later, but okay.
And we ordered it in January of last year. Just want to throw that out.
Yes,
too.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we were on top of it. It's the rest of the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, seems to be the way of the year this year, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. Anything else from anybody? If not, I'm going to say thank you for joining us tonight. And next week we will be back on Zoom with a legislative session. And we will see you all next week and around town, and hopefully you'll come out to Ryder Park on Saturday morning as well. We'll see you. And American Legion is going to be celebrating their 100th anniversary. Also, that's happening on Sunday. I don't know if that's open to the public, but we're very excited that they're going to be celebrating, and look forward to all the hooting and hollering that we can do about that as well. All right, everybody. Could I have a
Good night.
motion? Have a good night, everybody else. And then if I could have a motion to adjourn to executive session for advice of counsel and contracts.
So
So,
moved.
second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Anybody opposed? Thanks so much, and see you all next week. Bye, guys.